KSI is now officially fighting Faze Temper. Dylan Dennis has pulled out of the fight, and a lot of people are angry. But yeah, in all honesty, I didn't want to make this video. I want to focus my content on going back in time in the YouTube boxing scene and doing stuff that not a lot of people are doing. But I feel like Leo Waynes has to come to the rescue and tell everyone why KSI is fighting Faze Temper, who's going to win this fight, and everything you need to know on what's going on. So as of now, it's Wednesday the 4th of January. Mams Taylor announced that Dylan Dennis is pulling out of the fight with KSI because he is underprepared and knew nothing about the weight, which for one is stupid because he had this in the contract 2 months before and was really proof that Dylan was never serious. So me personally and a lot of other people thought that it was going to be announced that KSI was going to be fighting Joe Fournier instead. Mams Taylor said this before, so realistically there was no reason why it wasn't going to be. But then Joe Fournier put something on Instagram along the lines of,
I'm not fighting KSI, KSI's a pussy, he doesn't want to step in with me, I understand it though.
King Kenny started piping up on Twitter saying that he wanted to fight KSI, but then in reality it wasn't going to be him, because if it was, why would he be saying this moments before their fight was actually going to get announced? So yeah, no one really knew until this got announced. And in my opinion, I don't think it's a bad fight. Faze Temper is a fighter who's shown that he does have good ability through beating and showing some skill against King Kenny, but a fighter that we've seen can be beaten quite easily, simply through better boxing skill and more heart. So this fight is good for showing us what level KSI is really at the moment. And yeah, I know you guys are asking,
why isn't it Slim? Why isn't it Joe Fournier? Why isn't it Tommy Fury? Why isn't it Tyron Woodley?
Well, let me tell you why. So first of all, with Slim, Misfits have made it clear that they've always wanted him on this card, because after beating Faze Temper, he has become one of the biggest faces of Misfits. People know he's a very good promoter, so as soon as this whole event was announced, he had to be on the card. So bearing this in mind, KSI's backup opponent had to be someone who was obviously a good matchup and someone who really wasn't going to be on the card anyway. And because Slim had an important role in this event, being someone who has a lot of potential to go further and further on, it just didn't make sense. Like, let's be honest, if Dylan didn't pull out and Slim was the backup opponent, then Slim wouldn't be on the event at all. With Joe Fournier, I generally think they want to start building a bit of tension between the two. Obviously, they're going to see each other at this press conference and they're going to show the fans their ability on fight night. So at this point of time, I think Misfits wanted to line that fight up for maybe later in the year, rather than rushing all the trash talk now. Obviously, until now, King Kenny said that he didn't even want to fight, so it couldn't have been him. From the start, Tyron Woodley wasn't happy with the contract issues, so it couldn't have really been him. Personally, I think I need to get it through my head, and you do too. If someone pulls out of a Misfits fight, they're either for one, not going to have a backup, or for two, they're not going to have a very good backup. Because obviously, we've seen it with KSI, who was supposed to be fighting Wasabi, who was, for one, not that good of a fight already, and then he got swarmed. Someone who is literally not even in the bottom of the barrel. He wasn't even in the equation at all. We saw it with Temper and Blueface. I know Slim's a good opponent now, but back then, he was considered to be from the dirty side of YouTube boxing. So yeah, that's just what I'm getting from Misfits. I don't think they want their backup opponents to be good. But at the moment for Misfits, I think they don't want their replacement opponent being on par with the original opponent, because they want to save these good fighters for later events, and they can't just be there for backup. Who do you guys think is going to win this fight? Please tell me down below. I love when you guys comment. It makes me feel so happy. So yeah, this probably wasn't a long video, but I just had to clear this all up. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and yeah, see you in a bit.